very likable person, man, because of what you stand for and what you believe, not just inside of the ring, but the athlete and the man you are outside of the ring. And it takes a real honest man, excuse me, to be honest every single day, especially living in the world that we're living in now, to make the right decisions. And you've done a great job doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, I can hear some kids in the background, my man, like I mentioned earlier on the show.
It's back to daddy mode.
hey, that's okay.
Just believe that.
That's the best mode to be in, man. Hey, so I want to ask you, man, I'm going to jump right into it because, you know, I watch your fight. I'm a big supporter, man. First of all, I want to make sure, how's that eye? How's the healing process?
Oh, man. It's healing. It's healing properly. I still had the lacerations. They're not stitched. They actually glued it. It wasn't
okay.
So. It actually wasn't so much of the lacerations. Because let's be honest, and like you pointed out, I'm very honest, and I'm glad we're speaking on this. When I went to the hospital after the fight, it wasn't so much of the blood, because my first fight in Fresno, I was busted open and I continued to fight. I mean,
yes.
When I fought against Dennis Shavkov, I had a hole right above my chin under my lip, a literal like a hole in my lip, and then my eye was busted. The same eye was busted up then, but it came down. It was more an abrasion to my cornea, in my eye. That was the real issue. And then they also pointed out that I had an old facial fracture that didn't heal properly, and more likely that old fracture probably came from the Shavkov fight.
Right.
So when they was telling me that old fracture, since it didn't heal right, it was actually shifting towards my right eye as well, and that played a part in my vision. So, but overall, like I said, I'm a true fighter. I wasn't happy how the fight ended, and then people had this misconception that I was looking for a way out. Like I was winning every round of the fight,
yeah.
You know. So it wasn't like I was down in the car looking for a way out. No, I was winning, but I just knew something was wrong, and it was just like, if I could describe it, it was like one side of my face was clear as day, but the other side was just blurry, and I just really couldn't. And I thought at the time it was just blood. That's why I kept watching the film. I can't wipe my eye, because I thought it was literally just blood in my eye, but that just wouldn't go away, or it just kept coming out profusely. But it came down that it was more than just that. It was an abrasion to my cornea of my eye, and that was the real case behind it.
You know, when you suffer a cut or even a headbutt or what have you, what exactly does? I mean, I want you to tell the viewers, the fans, and the followers exactly what exactly were you feeling? Is it the cut? Is it the pain you're feeling? Is it the vision? Is it the sweat, the stinging, or is it all the above? Walk us through that round where, I mean, there was a time when I saw you picking at it a couple times. I mean, I know it was bothering your vision. Talk to us about what you felt in there.
For the most part, like with me, because I've been cut numerous times in my career now. Because especially for me being a southpaw and I'm fighting a lot of orthodox fighters, you get that accident. So for the most part, I was just like, okay, I'm cut. Now I had to switch it up to a different gear. That's why I at times in that fight, I just started, instead of boxing, I just started to bite down and fight on the inside a little bit more, because it was like, okay, because they asked me even after the fifth round, if you go back, they asked me did I want to stop the fight, and I'm thinking, it's just blood. I've been here before. No, don't stop the fight. I'll be fine. That's why I kept saying, hey, just wipe my eye and let me go. So that's why I don't understand why people thought I was just like I was looking for a way out. When the fifth round, they actually came to me and asked me in the corner if I wanted to stop the fight because of the cut. Because when the doctor pulled me to the side, I was like, no, I've been here before. Just wipe my eye and let me go. It's just that after a while, it just the headbutts and everything just kept coming consistent. And once again, even going into the eighth or whatever, I just thought it was just blood in my eye. But once I started seeing that my vision was not fully there, blood or no blood, I just knew something was just going wrong, and that was my whole reason for having that fight stopped.
Well, I noticed early in the fight when they looked at it, I mean, you bit down and you could have had the fight stopped, or your vision seemed to be okay early on, but as it went on, I can see the blood coming down, and hats off to your cut man. I mean, again, there's only so much he can do with what he's working with. I mean, when you got scar tissue, you have scar tissue.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, even my top ranked debut, I was cut. I was cut like in the third round of that fight against Juan Pablo Sanchez, and they wanted to stop the fight then, and there was actually a lot more blood during that fight. And I was just like, no, just basically clean me up. Again, I had to take it to another gear from that Marine Corps mentality and just push forward. And I ended up getting a stoppage. And let's not forget also, I put O'Kennell down with a single uppercut. So I figured in my mind, okay, now we gotta just bite down and go fight on. We can't box. We gotta fight. We gotta play fire with fire and just fight back. So my whole mindset was still to going in and to finish the job and potentially get a stoppage, because Jonathan O'Kennell, all credit to him, he's a durable opponent. But like I said, I know there was times when I hurt him and I put him down. So that it wasn't so much of the fight that was being the issue, but it was definitely something that was really going on in my eye. And I'm glad. And when I seen the doctors, they actually were checking to see if I broke my orbital bone afterwards, because it was that bad where I had to get like CAT scans and everything like that with my eye. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm basically in a upbeat mood now. But
that's good.
I just have to, like, for me, being the man that I am, it just, for me, I just want to go back and it's like a sign of redemption for me. So it just motivates me, if anything, for my next outgoing.
I got one more comment on the IA, and then we're going to move on. You're in the corner, and you know exactly what your checklist looks like. I mean, every fighter does, whether they have collarbone problems, knuckle problems, ankle. They know what's in store. They know their checklist. You know your own, and you talked about it at the top of the show as far as the scar tissue. So. You got to do what's best for Jamel, and you know your limits, you know your gas tank and what you can push. And sometimes, I mean, your heart's going to want to push into the last beat. So being that said, brother, you ain't got to prove nothing to us. I know what you stand for. The country knows what you stand for, and the whole world knows what you stand for. You could have scored a third-round knockout, and people were still going to be instrumental as far as talking about, okay, well, he didn't do this. He still didn't do this right. Well, we'll see what happens when Frampton. We'll see if he gives me an opportunity. So, nevertheless, I've been in this boxing business for a while, and I've seen the both inside and outs of it, and you're not going to please everyone, my man.
And I get that. If anything, I'm just more of a harsh critic on myself. But
right on.
Yeah, that definitely. It proved what you just said. Like, when I look back, I'm like, okay. Usually, when fighters look for excuses out of the fight because they're down on the cards, or they're losing, or they're just not. I'm like looking back. I'm like, I was winning. Well, the judges had me at least winning every round, and I'm like, I was boxing. I was fighting my fight. If anything, I didn't know what his approach was. It didn't seem like his approach was more from technique. It was just trying to, just get whatever he can. But for me, I was fighting my fight. So I was like, I'm trying to figure out myself now, like, what are people saying that I was looking for a way out? But, it just puts out, like you said, it doesn't matter what you do. You can't please everybody. And you can feel like you have the greatest performance of your career, and people will still find an issue or something to point out. So, I mean, overall, I'm just happy that I have my health. That comes first. My health is right, and I live to see, to fight another day.
Right on, brother. Between our comments and the whole show, man, I'm going to throw some questions in, because as we speak, questions are still coming in. And again, the questions just come in. I just ask the questions. And
okay.
we'll take it from there. This next question is coming in from Ernie. He said, first of all, congratulations on your victory. That was your third victory within the last couple months, because he's counting the first two victories over the coronavirus that you were able to show up to.
Yeah, that's nothing. I'm glad he brought that up. Thank you, Ernie. And there's nothing people forget, man. People forget that, I've been fighting this COVID thing pretty much all summer. I was the fighter. Me being a champion, I could have said, you know what? I'll just sit out and I'll just wait to Frampton. But I was actually the one that kept pushing for the fight. I told Top Rank, my promoter, that I didn't want to even go as far as take a tune-up or a catchweight fight in a 10-round fight. I didn't want to do that. I was the guy that was pushing for the, to fulfill my obligation as a champion and still go out there and give O'Kennell his shot and get the fight done. Even that, I've seen that time O'Kennell even said, even during the press conference, that he thought at one point in time that I would just, after the whole COVID scare, I would just sit out the rest of the summer and just wait for the Frampton fight. But I didn't want to do that. So I'm like, well, people that think that all of a sudden now I'm just making excuses for pulling out fights is crazy, because I was the one that still wanted to get out there and fight and take care of business this summer.
Exactly. We're talking about 2 training camps and 2 times turned away due to the coronavirus. Ernie's question is, what did you learn in the last few months due to the coronavirus? What did you learn about yourself as a man, as a champion in this disease that's out there, this virus?
Starting with myself, I could say that just going through everybody pretty much knows my story now. And it's like I feel like God makes no mistakes, and God doesn't He doesn't put battles in front of you that He knows you can't handle. So I took it as I've been through so much in my life. This is just another obstacle, but I can beat it. So if anything, it made me a lot mentally stronger than what I was, because let's be honest. I've known friends, family members that actually had the virus themselves. My best friend, she lost her mother to the virus. So I took the virus very seriously. But to me, I just looked at it as it's another obstacle. I know I can beat this. I gotta dig deep. And even after I beat the virus, I was still feeling the effects. But I was still wanting to get in the gym and push my body to the limit where I'm well enough to get in the ring and still perform like I normally would. So it just basically if anything, if it broke down my body, which it did at one point, it definitely built up my mental toughness.
Right on, man. This next comment, it comes from Sean Gibbons, president of Manny Promotions, rather. He just says,
"Oh, man, Sean."
Yeah, he said, "Let Jamel know I said Viva Ura."
Ura Semper Fi.
There he is. Yes, sir, man. He's a big fan and a big supporter of yours, and we all like what you do, man.
Sean's a good guy. Like you said, man. Like you said, Rich. I make no excuses. I take as well as if I can take a compliment, I better be prepared to take the criticism that comes on the other end as well. And like you see from me just on social media, I never ran. I never went. My social media accounts never went dark like some other fighters do.
Yeah.
After some crazy or bad performances they may have. No, I mean, I'm still the same person each and every day. If anything, it just pointed out to me who's really there for support and who really wasn't. But like I said, I can't. All I can do in the end is just be me, and it doesn't. Like I said, one fight will not define my whole entire career. I proved that with the Dennis Shavkov fight. Dennis Shavkov fight. That was a real fight where people can look at it and say, "Man, we would not be surprised if he never steps in the ring again." But that's not who I am. If anything, criticism just makes me stronger. So I'm actually looking forward to getting back in the ring and continuing where I left off at.
Exactly, and we're going to lead up to that. Rick Merigian from Fresno, California, promoter of Jose Ramirez and manager of, he just signed a new crop of fighters. Now he is also the manager of Robert Garcia at Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. He said, You know what, let Jamel know he's one of my favorite guys out there. And he's the only one that I would do what I did for him in Fresno, California. I mean, I was down to help him in any way I can, and he's an inspiration to us all. Tell him to keep doing what he's doing and be Jamel.
Oh, yeah, and I love Rick, Jose, and just Fresno in general. Like, I have no issue, being a New Yorker. I would love to fight in Fresno again because Fresno alone just showed me a lot of love, and the people are great. And it comes from guys like Jose and Rick, who basically keep me grounded and humble. Like, I love Jose's story. I love what he stands for. Of course, me and Jose were not only roommates but Olympic teammates, and that's where that bond grew. I'm actually looking forward to Rick doing great things with Ruben, who's coming up with a big fight for his first world title. So yeah, I'm definitely always gonna support the guys out there in his way, and that he's overlooking. But thank you, Rick. Appreciate you, man, and we'll definitely talk soon again, my man.
There you are. Okay, look at Sean jumping up again. He goes, hey, just tell him once again that I'm a big fan. I appreciate what he's doing for our service, our country, and tell him to keep representing this good world. Viva Marines. Hey, have a good evening, Jamel. That's once again from Sean Gibbons.
Thank you, Sean, man. I really appreciate it. Like, words like that means more than anything. It just, like I said, who I am outside of the ring, it definitely means a lot more than, me just being Jamel Herring, a world champion. Because I believe at the end of the day, people are going to judge you by your character, and that really says a lot about just who I am as a person, and I appreciate that, Sean. So thank you.
Right on, man. This next comment question is from Manny Robles. Respectful trainer, my man. He says, you know what, tell Jamel we got to go one-on-one in basketball as soon as he gets better. I wish him a speedy recovery, and I'm looking forward to his fight, him versus the Jackal.
Oh, man, thank you, Manny. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. He's a good guy. Very supportive all throughout the years. And, yeah, I mean, for the most part, I just want to let everybody know that I'm healing. I'm healing fine. Everything's coming back together. I'm actually just waiting for reports I can get cleared. But I woke up like yesterday and the day before yesterday. I just want to get back in the ring and train, or at least the gym and train. I just want to get back. Like, that's just who I am. I love what I do. You know, boxing has been great to me, and it has brought a lot of great people in my life as well. So I just want to get back to my, you know, my comfort zone. That's what I call it. I call, you know, the boxing gym is my comfort zone. But I appreciate it, Manny, and we'll definitely link up, and much love and respect to you.
There you are. Okay, here you go. Okay, this is from Gabriel Flores Sr. All Junior wants for his birthday in May is a crack at the winner of Herring and Frampton, respectfully. I heard Herring's story. He's one hell of a human being. I admire what he's doing for our country. I admire what he's doing in life. Now, this fight would be great. Is he willing to fight Junior Cinco de Mayo weekend? It would be epic.
Hey, Cinco de Mayo weekend, I respect it. You know, it's just major in boxing. And Gabe is a cool dude, great guy. And like I said, anything's possible. So I'm not gonna sit there and say no, it won't happen, because like I said, Gabe is he's doing his thing. He's making his mark. So we are under the same umbrella. So you know, I wouldn't see why it couldn't happen. But like I said, much love and respect to Gabe. They never came out disrespectful. And as you can hear, I don't have anything bad to say about them as well. But hey, I mean, I'll take that into consideration. I mean, it could be a big thing for 2021.
Hey, you heard it here first, only on the Fighter's Voice. This next question is from Shelly Hollis, one of our videographers. He said, first of all, congratulations on kicking the coronavirus in the ass. Also, how does he feel about people saying, hey, he may be the underdog in his next fight with Frampton?
Oh, that's fine with me. If anything, that takes a lot. It takes the pressure off of my back, you know. And hey, put the pressure on Frampton. You know, but like you said, people fail to realize that, you know, I've gone through a lot in just these past 4 or 5 months. But I make no excuses. It just gives me more motivation to go in the gym and train harder. Like let's not forget, I was a huge underdog, you know, going into the Masiko Ito fight. So
that's right.
Like me being an underdog is nothing new to me at all. Even there are people that even thought that that Lamont Roach was gonna beat me just based off of youth and things of that nature. But I mean, it is what it is. You can see, like, I'm not upset about it, but I'm the one. I'm definitely pushing for that fight, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that, because there's a new poster that was released, I believe, just yesterday, man. I mean, that signing with MTK, that's making this fight relevant. That's making it possible. It could possibly be next. Tell us what you know. Let the viewers, the fans, and your followers, man. We want to support that showdown when it comes. And are you yourself looking forward to that?
I mean, of course. That's one of the main reasons why I made that move. I mean, they reached out to me directly, and I told them, like, they actually gave me a time span to actually think about it, and I told them on the spot, no, there's nothing to think about. Let's make this happen, and that's just who I am. I gotta remind you, I'm still healing. I'm still fresh off my last fight, but I know deep down this is the fight that I was wanting for a while now. So nothing's gonna change me from, you know, getting this fight or making this fight happen. So I told them directly, hey, let's you know, join forces, work together, and make it a lot easier now to get this fight done. So hey, I'm all for it. But yeah, Carl Frampton, in my mind, is the next fight for me out there, and it's a fight that I actually feel a lot comfortable. You know, doing in terms of style-wise, I just still feel like I'm the better fighter of the two. But if people, like I said, like the last comment, people feel that I may be the underdog, that's fine with me. So that'll make the victory a lot more meaningful once I get my hand raised.
No, right on, man. I mean, motivation, man. I mean, that's what gets us past that next stumbling block or speed bump or whatever we want to call it, that little roadblock. We just go right through it. Hey, I want to ask you this. You're around pound for pound champions. I mean, iron sharpens iron. I mean, I know there had to be some advice that either Maurice Hooker gave you or Bud Crawford gave you. What advice did they give you? What did you take from their advice, and how's your relationship with Bud Crawford these days?
Oh, man, Bud spoke to me actually a day or two after my fight. He just told me straight up, he said, just to block out all the negativity, and just keep doing what I'm doing. He still believes that I'm a hell of a fighter, you know, and that means a lot coming from him. Even though, yes, we do train together every day, but, you know, Bud has always been a straight shooter. He's very, like, if you're messing up, he's going to let you know you're messing up. Same goes with guys like Maurice Hooker, Robert Grant, Steven Nelson. We're all honest with each other, you know, but we all feed each other's energy in the gym, which makes it a lot easier to get through those rugged days. But I mean, it's just a great atmosphere to be in a type of gym like that with guys like Bud. But our relationship is definitely more of like a brotherhood. Like it's a strong bond. Like I can call him anytime of the day, and he'll pick up, and vice versa.
All right, on, man. This next question is from Sophia Padilla. She says, you know what, man, I don't know what you're doing, but your body is in the top 10. I mean, your elbows chiseled, you're shredded and ready to go. What does your diet look like?
Oh, I have to thank my nutritionists at Perfecting Athletes. They definitely they keep me in tremendous shape, especially with my strength coach, Jamel. I can't really say what my routine is. I'm just the type of guy, like a typical Marine. Just basically do what you're told. So I just go into the gym, you know, with my routines and my eating regimen, and just go as they plan because they know best. But that, for the most part, that mainly comes from, you know, you have to live right when the cameras aren't watching. You know, I'm a guy. I'm not
very well said.
Yeah, I'm not a guy in my early 20s and late teens, and you know, but I still manage. I know how to take care of my body because I know how far I still want to go in the sport of boxing. And I actually take out the guys like, you know, Bernard Hopkins. I'm not saying that I want to stay around until I'm 50 years old, but, you know, Bernard Hopkins got his biggest win against Felix Trinidad at the age of 35. And that's because he took care of himself in and out of the gym. So, you know, that's why I try to tell a lot of fighters even now, even the younger guys, you know, they're still party and club, which is fine, but you still gotta be responsible, and if you want to you know, be active in this game, in the world of boxing, you gotta, you know, live boxing. So you gotta know when to cut it on and off in terms of you know, the thing you do away from the cameras in the gym.
Right on, man. You know, I'm going to take that quote from you because I was writing it down. What exactly was it? You got to live right when the camera's not on or not on you or not working. What was it?
That's the important part. I mean, think about it. The cameras are on you, but maybe for what, 30-something minutes to an hour in terms of a fight or whatever. But, you know, you're living 24/7 or yearly around. So you're not, and it's the stuff that people do behind the scenes that matter the most. Like even now, if I feel like I'm getting too heavy or my weight is getting a little too high, I'm going out for a run. I don't have to be. There's things that I should know better and should do on my own without being told. You know, some guys, they wait till they get to training camp to start losing weight or being told what they need to do. No, I speak to my nutritionist every day. I mean, yeah, I like to have my junk food, but I know when I need to like start, you know, getting myself together. You know, I quickly reach out to her, or I'll reach out to Jamie Belt, which is my strength coach, and I'm like, hey, Jamie, I'm trying to work on things at home. Can you send me a routine to work on before I start my real training camp? And that's just how I live.
I know, right on, man. This question is right here. It's actually a comment, okay? They didn't want to leave their name. They said, you know what, is there a rough time that we know after he heals up, a guesstimated time when you'll be back in the ring again?
After I heal up, in terms of that all comes down to pretty much, you know, the management side and the promoters.
Okay.
But me, I was actually if it was before the whole cut and incident, I was actually supposed to go home for 2 weeks, and I was supposed to because they wanted me to fight Frampton in November.
Okay.
So I was actually going to come home for like 2 weeks, rest up, and then go right back into the gym. And I was actually fine with that because I know my body. Even now, cut or no cut, I feel like I can still get back in the gym and just continue, and get back into another 6 to 8 week training camp. But they say sometimes you may need a little bit more rest and look out for yourself more. But mentally, physically, right now, I can honestly say that if they call me to be like, hey, Jamel, we want you to fight mid-November, December time frame, you start preparing for camp, I would have no issue getting ready for camp, no matter what the outcome was on the 5th of September.
No, right on. And talking about camp, talking about a next fight, I want your comment and your whole take on this mega fight, by Top Rank, man. We got coming up next month, and you know exactly where I'm going. What's your pick? What's the strategy? And what's it take for A and B to be victorious? And I'm talking about Teofimo and Lomachenko, man. What's your whole take on that fight?
I think I love the fight. I think I'm actually going to try my best to somehow maneuver myself to be there live.
There you go.
Being honest, because it's a great fight. It's a great fight for boxing. Let me just say for starters that what Teofimo is doing is actually says a lot about him, because he is a world champion. He just won his world title, and look what he's doing. He's trying to fight one of the best fighters in the world in his first title offense. I mean, that says a lot about him, regardless of what people may think about his character and the things he may say in the media. I mean, I commend him, and he's young. He's still young. But of course, you're gonna most of the world is gonna side and pick Lomachenko. But I give Teofimo a fair share of being victorious himself. He's just because for one, we know Teofimo. I mean, Lomachenko wants to go back down to super featherweight for a reason, because 135 isn't his natural weight. 135, right. Those lightweights are still big, are still kind of big for him. I mean, look what happened in the Jorge Linares fight. When you actually look back at that fight was actually kind of close. The knockdowns and everything, that he endured, but he got up and it showed his true character. This is why Lomachenko is one of the best in the world. But there's something that Teofimo definitely sees, that he's trying to that he's real vocal about exposing, and I think that's what basically keeps everyone tuned in, and the whole world looking on this fight. But I mean, I think it's an even matchup regardless of what people may think. Of course, yes, Lomachenko has the experience factor, but Teofimo has the youth and the size and the power on his end as well.
No, I agree, and Teofimo's a big boy. I mean, he's, win, lose, or draw at 135s. I see him moving up to 140s right after this fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. I said the same thing about Teofimo. I mean, Lomachenko, win, lose, or draw, or whatever, he's going back down a weight class. So, once that happens, that I think the lightweight division is definitely gonna free up. It's crazy, and I'm still over here thinking about what Gabe Senior just said a few minutes ago, because I think about everything. Even with my own situation, they said I'm a big super featherweight, and I had no issue making the weight, but it's like to the point where even for my career, I'm thinking okay, after the Fentanyl fight was really the next thing out there, and I was even debating about if I should just move back up to lightweight myself. So it's like boxing, things change really quick.
Right.
And, because we see it all the time, man. Like 1 minute, this guy is the man of the division, and boom, he's knocked off like that. And then a whole new wave of fighters in that division, come about. Because we seen it with the junior welterweight division. When Bud Crawford was there, when he unified, I mean, we can all honestly say that there wasn't a lot of big names for him to stay there, so he moved up to welterweight. But then, right after that, you seen, boom, a whole wave of guys, the Josh Taylors, the Regis Progress, my man Jose Ramirez, and others. Now it's 140 is filled with a lot of big names, and Teofimo's going to fit there also. So, boxing changes hands very quickly, and it even comes down to what I may do after the end of this year.
Right on, and that's a good evaluation of yourself. I mean, like I said earlier on the show, your body, the struggles, or your strengths. And when I say strengths, and you may be stronger at a heavier weight, but then again, since you brought it up, let me ask you this: what do you think of young Gabriel Flores out of Stockton? Now being advised by the legendary Andre Ward.
I mean, I like Gabe. Gabe is a cool. Gabe is let's start with his character. Gabe. People I know the little things people give Gabe hell when he doesn't shake hands during the face-off after the weigh-in. Okay, whatever. he's a fighter. But when you actually sit down and speak with Gabe is a real cool kid, and like I think I respect him a lot more because he's been through adversity in his personal life. With a situation with his mother, God bless her soul.
Yes.
And for him to continue to fight the way, and he's like he fights with a purpose now in his mother's memory. You can't do nothing but respect that. And it's like the same thing like with me with my situation with my daughter. My daughter passed away, but she's been like my guardian angel. And the reason why not only that I fight hard, but I stay on a narrow path, a straight path in life, because I always look back and say, if I do this, how will my daughter look at me if she see me doing this? So
exactly.
That's like when I look at Gabe's story, I definitely respect it. And it seems like with his fights as well, he gets better with each fight. And I actually said to myself a while ago, I think he should get a lot more credit or his name mentioned a lot more with the other younger talent in his age range. And coming up at the time, because you hear guys they speak about the Ryan Garcias and the Teofimos and guys like that. I don't think Gabe is that far from being mentioned in that degree or caliber as well. So, like I said, there's nothing bad. I have nothing bad to say about Gabe. Like I said, I'm actually a fan. I look forward to seeing what he does in his future.
Right on, man. Actually, I know Pops very well. I look forward to his ring walks, man. I'm talking about his attire. Every time he comes out, man, he comes looking flashy, looking sharp, and he brings all his charisma with him.
Yeah, much respect to him.
Absolutely. Hey, well, listen, man. I mean, the heavyweight division at first it was kind of like we were not sure what was going to go on. Now, again, we're not sure what's going to go on. I mean, in your opinion, is Tyson Fury who is he going to fight next? I mean, because we're waiting on Deontay, and then I'm hearing about Anthony Joshua, and then I'm hearing there may be some mandatories. I mean, what's the career like for a Tyson Fury in your eyes, Jamel?
I look at sky's the limit with him. He's the man. He's the man of the division. I mean, business-wise, we all people are still expecting, through contract obligations that the third Wilder fight, will happen next. Even though, in my honest opinion, I don't see a reason for the third fight. I think we've seen all we needed to see in the second fight, and this is coming from a man that I actually thought that Wilder would win the fight because when you look at Wilder's track record, just in rematches alone, Wilder always comes back in devastating fashion in rematches. So I thought that he was going to come out guns blazing, and as to where he would have got a stoppage over Fury, but it was a complete 180 in terms of Tyson Fury. Like, not only was he the more dominant fighter, but he floored him a few times and he got the stoppage. So I think the fight that we all want to see at the end of the day is an entire all UK showdown between him and Joshua. But like you pointed out, Rich, when you put the business out of it, you gotta take care. Maybe this promoter wants you to say, well, hold up, you still owe us a mandatory for this fighter or that fighter, and that really blocks a lot of things. But if it's up to the fans, I know for the fact they would rather see just a Fury Joshua fight.
Right on, man. And talking about promoters, man, every time I see you around Bob Arum, I honestly see him light up. What's your relationship like with him, and what are those little secrets that he whispers in your ear, man? I just got to know, because I hear he'll say something to you, and I see you smiling. He must be talking about some money or something.
No, and again, this is funny about it. We really don't even really talk about money like that. I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a true story from just recent after my last fight. I got the ring. I knew I probably had to take some time off, but he pulled me to the side and he says to me, he said, Jamel, I want you to take some time off and we can make the next big fight in January, February, a time frame, whatever he had pointed out at the time. And I told him then, no, let me just go get seen by the doctor in the back or whatever at the hospital, and I still want to get this family fight done for November, maybe possibly December. And he pulled me again. He was like, no, he said, Jamel, you've been through a lot. You've been fighting the COVID situation. You've been having back-to-back training camps. Your body needs rest. I need you just to take some time off and just to rest. And then when he said that, I got a whole different aspect of how I look at him. I mean, I always respected Bob. Bob's always been great to me. He's done great by me in my career. But I got a whole different look in terms of his character, how he looks at the fighter, on the outside. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna argue with Bob. He's just here looking out for my well-being. So okay, maybe I'll just go home and rest like he wants me to. But that's just the little thing that the people may not see or hear from Bob. Because every time when Bob really speaks, he speaks about making the next big fight. So when you look at him, you just think about Bob, which is all about his business, which he is. But when he put me to the side and told me, no, you need to rest. You've been through enough. Just this past summer, just take the time off, enjoy life, enjoy your family. That really said a lot about his character. So I respect him.
No, right on, man. I mean, because you know what? He's a human being, and he has feelings for his fighters. I can tell when he talks to his fighters, and a lot of time I know when some of his fighters are on the hot seat too. I've been to those press conferences when he'll just shoot media down. He doesn't care. He is definitely in charge, but he does care for the fighter deep down inside.
Yeah, definitely.
So, man, I mean, you're taking the time off right now. I mean, and time with the family and what have you. What do you do besides boxing and besides the father and the husband? What do you do for time for yourself? Because I was looking at a magazine. I think it was a comic book or something, and they were making a superhero out of you. We're pulling it up right now on the monitor.
Man, I think.
There we are. There we are. It says Jamel Herring. It says the Fighting Marine, Semper, yes.
The family time is, to me, that is the fun time because
okay.
I mean, look at just this summer alone. I've been in training camp from end of May all the way to September, so I missed a good chunk of the year. So when I'm home, I just enjoy being around my family for the most part. I mean, before the whole pandemic, my whole thing was I used to love to go out to watch movies. I'm big on movies.
Okay.
I keep it real simple. Like I said, we know my history. I'm a U.S. Marine, so I did all my crazy, my crazy partying, when I was still like 18, 19 years, 20-something years old. So now it's just like, I just think about the bigger picture, which is the family. And another thing, even though I was kind of criticized by Miguel Cotto last weekend also.
Oh, yeah, I read that. I read your comments.
It's funny because I was actually thinking about, remember those old HBO 24/7 episodes with Miguel Cotto? And
all of them.
They would always showcase what his family was like.
Yes.
I remember his wife always pointing out that she couldn't wait till the day that he just hung his gloves up because just his family, he's missed, and he would always point out how he missed so much time out with his family due to boxing. And I actually thought about that, and I actually respected that more because I see it now with my own family. Like just with the whole COVID situation. Like I said, I was in training camp from like May all the way up to September. Even when I got sick, I didn't go home. I stayed in training camp because I didn't want to risk getting my kids sick or anything like that. So I stayed in training camp. But that goes to show, like that shows you right there, like, man, like we sacrifice a lot in boxing. That I'm not saying we forget what's important at times, but it just goes to show you that we make a lot of sacrifices to better not only ourselves in life, but our families as well. But at the end of the day, I missed out on so much time with my family. Now is the time for me to make up for that lost time, and I'm just enjoying it, day by day.
There you go. Value the things that are very important to you. I'm glad you brought up that Miguel Cotto because I had the opportunity of getting one of his last interviews at the last interview at Wildcard Gym before he headed to New York on his last fight. Thanks to Marie and Freddie Roach, they made that possible. And Miguel Cotto, he runs deep with his friends and his management, who are his friends, and his values that he also gives inside and outside of the ring. Class act, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I was fighting one of his fighters, so a lot of tension was coming off from that. I never went back. I never went back and said anything bad about Cotto. I'm still a Cotto fan. Like,
I remember you said that. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I will still watch his fights, and I wish Miguel Cotto and his promotion the best. The best of luck with their future. But it's business. Sometimes we say things at the heat of the moment, and even down to guys like Tim Bradley, who also criticized me a bit. I'll still give him a hug and shake hands. I don't take things personally. I mean, like I said, I just look at the greater value in life ahead.
I like Tim Brownlee. He's very animated on the microphone, and once the mic is turned off, man, I mean, he has nothing but love for you, man. Because I remember when you did fight in Fresno, he had nothing but good things to say about you being a southpaw and you being able to throw off your opponents, just being a southpaw alone.
Yeah. I mean, Tim, he's like, when we have our conversations behind closed doors, which we do, it's all love. It's all love in the end. Like I said, Tim, he's just an animated guy. He gets in the heat of the moment, of course. Even when, like, you've seen it, people like in the media, of course, like big names in the media were demanding that he give me an apology, and I told her, I don't want an apology, nor do I expect an apology. So at the end of the day, I'm still gonna look up to him and RJ Ward, because they were champions before myself. I still look for them for advice, and like I said, this is just for me is all a learning experience. Not once did I ever come off bitter or started, degrading their careers. And no, I'm not going to do that. If anything, like I said, it just, all this that's been going on, it just ways and means for me to really now go into my next training camp with some fire and motivation to go out there and be like, okay, this is what they seen the last time, but we're going to change it around this time. And I had the right fight for that in the fight. And I'm even still willing to go overseas to make the fight. But that's just me, who I am as a fighter, as a person.
No, very well said. And, that goes with my next comment or slash question, man. Are you willing to go overseas? And how much of effect, because Jose Ramirez said it clear, I miss the crowd. I miss the crowd cheering. I miss the crowd being there. And he was one of the first fighters, if not the only fighter to this date, to not only admit that, but let everybody know I was very uncomfortable without the crowd there. How was it fighting, once again, without the crowd? And are you willing to go overseas?
Man, listen, I'm going to be the first one to put this on your show right now. I will say I fully agree with Jose. Speakers, sound, you know this, the sound effects, they just don't do it the same as a live crowd. And I know for a fact that they're trying to get crowds open in the UK, like the O2 Arena.
Right.
So I'm with MTK Global now, and we can make that friendly fight over there with some fans. I don't care if the fans even against me. just get me in front of some live audience and let me go to work, because that just that energy from the fans, it takes the fight to a whole different level. So yeah, if Top Rank, MTK Global, and my manager Brian McIntyre want to all sit down together and potentially propose to put the fight over in the UK, I don't care. I'm not running from anything. I'm not running from anybody, and I'm actually looking forward to getting back in the ring now. I still got something to prove, and the people, just from the events of this past week have just, took my mindset to a different level. Like I always tell people, some things can either make you or break you, and I'm not gonna let a few words, break me down and make me, deteriorate for what I want to do.
Well, I tell you what, if you go overseas, the fighter's voice will find a way. Somehow, some way, we'll go overseas with you, my man, and watch and support you and get that soundbite.
Oh, I would love that, man. I would love that.
Yeah, we can make that happen. I want to ask you this. You've talked about fighters that motivate you inside of the ring, that have given you advice. A la Bud Crawford after the fight, hey, don't listen to criticism. Timothy Bradley, how you guys are behind cameras. Who motivates you as a man? I mean, what? There's always somebody there, whether it's a father, it's an uncle, or a fighter that talks about nothing but that doesn't talk about boxing, that talks about life. Who motivates you to be the best man Jamel Herring can be?
Oh, I have to give that that title to Jamel. You got to give that to the wife.
There you go. Good answer.
Listen.
I'm listening, my man.
You seen. I'm pretty sure you seen her reaction to everything
yes, I did.
Going on.
And she has your back.
Oh yeah. If I'm the calmer, lighter tone guy in our partnership, she's the fire, the brash. This time I had to be like, hey, just let it go. But I seen her she even attacked Miguel Cotto. I was like, hold on, what? Just calm down, let it go. But yeah, but for the most part, other than boxing, she always because there's times when I feel down about myself. I was down about myself after the fight for a few days, but when I had her, when we spoke, she basically, uplifted me and told me, everything that's good about me outside of boxing. And, stuff like that for people who just real open and honest with you. Same thing goes for my younger brother. My younger brother's also by my side, and we're like more of like best friends. And we don't always just speak on sport. We just speak on life in general. And like I said, I never wanted to be that guy to have yes man. I want everybody, like, if I have a crowd, if I have a circle, and I don't care if my circle is small, I want everybody to be open and honest with me, and that's what I have around me. So I'm just grateful and blessed to have real, genuine people in my life that that'll pick me up even when I give up with myself.
You know, very, very well said, Jamel. Every time we have you on the show, every interview we do, you've always been respectful, man. And I can just tell, that's to your upbringing, that's to your commitment to the service of our country. And, what do you have to say to all the viewers, the fans, and the followers, man, that had either struggled with life or that have this coronavirus? So what advice do you have to give to them that are struggling right now?
Oh, first of all, I just want to say that I'm with you guys all the way. Also, I gotta say, I also gotta thank the ones that were with me during this this rough patch in my life. Because this year has been rough. Yeah. Not on me, but everyone in general. Yes. I don't care who you are. This year has definitely affected you in some way or form. But even there was a guy who tweeted me a few days ago, and this is when I was still going through my whole thing about the fight, and I'm just up and down about my emotions. And I forgot what I said, but he reached out to me and he told me that it helped him get through the day, and it just brought me back and it reminded me of why I do the things that I do, because I'm not here to brag about what I make. I'm not here to brag about what I have or things like that. Yeah. I'm here to use my platform to uplift and motivate people. So that's what for those who are going through their rough times, please feel free to reach out to me. I pray for everyone out there. I know you, like I said, I know you can get through this. Nothing's impossible. Nothing's impossible at all. Even for people now, not athletes going through rough patches in their careers, but people going through rough patches in life. Nothing's impossible. And if you believe in yourself first, you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish.
Right on, man. How can you even top that? I appreciate you taking the time to come in on The Fighter's Voice, man. And, where can we follow you? How can we reach out to you?
Oh, Rich, let me just say this before I get to that. Like I said, man, what comes to me and you, bro, like, it's family. I gotta say this one time, okay. I gotta get I'm over, as I'm talking to you right now, I put down my phone, got my earbuds in. I gotta throw out 2 thumbs for Richie. Gotta 2 thumbs for Richie, man.
Thank you, man.
Like I said, it's a family thing over here, man. Like I said, I love coming on the show, even though when I'm busy, I always get back to you and I'm like, you know what, I gotta get back to my man Rich.
Thank you.
2 thumbs for Richie. Love the support that I'm getting over there. But if anybody wants to reach out to me and just talk on anything other than boxing, at Jamel Herring on Twitter, Instagram. Rich, I reply back to everybody just about. So I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find, and I definitely don't shy away or give the people the cold shoulder.
No, you are. And what I notice about you is you tell everybody happy birthday that's on your list. I remember you made a comment, and it stuck in my head. When I want to just go by because I'm in a hurry, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take my time and give them their time because it is their birthday. And I got that from you. I picked that up from you. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, and I'm glad. See, I'm glad that that rubbed off on somebody. So thank you for telling me that. But like I said, I look at it as I can take a few moments out of my day just to acknowledge somebody and let them know that somebody's thinking about them, and somebody is happy that they're here, that they're still here today to celebrate their day and their moment. And that's just who I am.
Enough said, man. I appreciate you being on the show, man. And whenever you got some more news breaking, man, I mean, if you just want to talk about life, man, we have the platform, because it's rarely that I talk to you about, okay, who are you going to fight next? What are you going to do? Who's your training camp? You hear that every day. And see, the Fighter's Voice is a platform for the fighter, the human, the father, the husband, the man, and sometimes just the person that's going through everyday life obstacles, man. And you kept it real since day one. And like I can hear a cricket where you're at right now, and over here, It's all good. We keep it real here on the Fighter's Voice, my man. I appreciate your service to our country and, just being a guest once again on the Fighter's Voice, Jamel.
Thank you, Richie. Like I said, yes, man. Once we get the next word on the next fighter, so you have to bring me back, and we got to talk some more, my man.
Definitely. It's a pleasure. Well, I want to thank our guest, Jamel Herring, for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the questions that have been coming in. And pretty soon, we're going to have, we're looking to have my microphone. We're looking to have Teofimo Lopez. We got to get confirmation on that. I'm going to say it again. Teofimo Lopez. He gave us a verbal agreement. We're waiting to get the time and the date. And those of us that are joining us tomorrow, we're going to have Don McGuire. The other half, he's called Don McGuire in the Fighter's Voice. He's an MMA guru. He's a photographer. He's a podcast guru. The man just sleeps with the microphone constantly. Those of you that know him on the MMA world, we're going to have him tomorrow live here on the Fighter's Voice with our guest, the UFC veteran himself, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Once again, I want to thank the WBO junior lightweight champion of the world, Semper Herring, Mr. Jamel Semper Herring, class act both inside and outside of the ring. I mean, hey, we need more people, more human beings like Jamel Herring. Hey, it's a wrap here, Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice radio show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice radio show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.